So, a couple of days back, I had a very interesting conversation with Rohan. Rohan was actually part of the SDET masterclass and he was able to crack multiple SDET interviews. And he finally decided to join Amazon. So, in this conversation with Rohan, Rohan is going to share his style of studying, okay, how he planned his entire day. Along with that, he's going to share his experience of the various interviews and what were the different kind of questions that was asked to him. If you are someone who is preparing for the SDET interview, then this conversation, this knowledge of Rohan is really going to help you out. So without wasting time, guys, let's dive into it. First, I want you to tell folks a little bit about yourself. Okay. Tell me about your background. Okay. Where did you do engineering? Okay. All these things to the folks. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I'm 2022 pass out basically. Okay, so currently I'm working as a QA engineer at Amazon. I have like almost 3.5 years of experience as QA. In my previous role, I have worked with the first company was Oracle Cerner, and then I have worked for a startup in US. Like I was working remotely. The company name was DW LLC. I worked there for 1 year, and recently, like 2 months back, only I have joined Amazon.
Okay. So let's talk about your first company, Oracle, right?
Hmm.
So when you were working in Oracle, you were working over there as a automation tester, manual tester. What's the thing over there?
It was a mix of both only. I started with automation directly.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, I started working as manual tester also there. So
Mm-hmm.
I had a mix of both automation. You can say like 60% automation, 40% manual. I was working like
Okay.
that.
And let's talk about the most important company, the last company where you were working as a remote employee for a US based company.
Hmm.
So, generally, people find it very hard to get remote jobs. And I remember that last time also you were discussing, a remote job chahiye mujhe. So, the thing now is when you're working in, like a remote based company,
Hmm.
okay, what was exactly your role over there? Like what you were doing? You were doing complete automation, manual, what's the thing over there?
It was again mix of both only. Majorly it was automation, but I was involved in manual testing also. The thing that I was not doing there was writing the test cases and all. It was like
Mhm.
testing manually and testing, automating the scenarios. So I was working for these two, like mix of both. Like again, 60% it would be automation, and again 40% it will be manual.
Okay. So what's the name of your last company?
Deep view.
Deep View. Okay. So yeah, the thing is, how did you get the job for a US based company from India? That's the first thing I want to ask. Like I think so you were the only one who was working from here.
It happened in 2024. Yeah. So how it happened was basically, I will tell you.
Mm,
First thing, like they had two more people from India,
mm,
but they were into development.
mm,
They were like automation for testing. I was the only one. So how I found it basically, I used to follow that company's founder on Twitter.
mm,
Okay.
mm, mm.
One day he just posted about his company that they are hiring and all for one profile, and I just randomly asked him. I commented him that. Are you guys hiring in India also? Then he was like, yes, we are building a team in India. So I just pinged him on his Twitter that, okay, which profile you are hiring for and all. He asked me my experience and all. So he said, yeah, we are looking for a automation engineer also who can, basically their application that time was very buggy. So they
Mm,
wanted an automation test and manual test also who can help them out with the uh, getting the releases more and more stable.
mm,
So yeah, I just pinged him. The next day my interview got scheduled. It was like 2 rounds, I think so. Yeah,
mm.
and majorly it was on my experience only. It was
All right.
not about technical. Technical it was there, but not much because at the end the company was very small. There were like just 50 people, and he wanted to know about my experience, not much about my technical skills. It took one round of my past experience and one round for technical, and I was selected.
What is like I'm thinking right now is how did you come to know that like there's a guy on Twitter who has started his company, it's a startup and all. How did you reach out to him? Like how did you find his profile and all?
I
Because
used
generally,
to Mhm. I used to
because
follow
generally,
him basically, but there are any number of things like I don't remember the username now. There was one person who on Twitter he posts he posts remote opportunities on Twitter on his feed. Okay, so you can get it, and also there are not many people who are finding jobs and applying from Twitter. You
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, do let me know later what's the profile over there. So I'll put it off over there. So it might be useful for people who are looking for jobs. Just find it
I,
off later.
if I can find it, I will send it to you.
All right. Now the thing is, when you were working for this company, what was the tech stack that you were using?
For automation, so they were majorly focusing on UI automation. It was
Hmm.
like API automation was not even there.
Okay.
Uh, Basically, it was like a charting platform for US market stocks. So we had all data of fundamental and technical for all the stocks that were in US. So
Mm-hmm.
that was so they wanted their UI to be as much stable as possible. And
Okay.
the tech stack that I was using was Cypress with JavaScript.
Cypress with JavaScript. Okay.
Yeah. We
All right.
used to use Cypress only for API automation, API testing also for web
Hmm.
APIs. Like you are clicking some button or something, the APIs are also getting triggered. So we used to just test the APIs also with the alongside
Yeah,
UI.
you have a very decent experience on Cypress. So now I want your take on what do you think of Cypress right now with like the future skills? Do you think it's going to help in job change? All right, or do you think like it's always better to have multiple skill sets like Selenium, Playwright, Cypress? Let's combine all the thing and then you go in the market. What's your take on that? Just
It
knowing Cypress is going to help.
No, there are like less openings for Cypress. I have seen it.
Hmm.
The thing is, if you know one tool, you can learn. Like you can switch. Like let's suppose I know Cypress or I know Selenium, right? I can easily switch to some other tool. It's not very hard to learn a new tool. The thing is, right now Playwright is there with the. And the another thing I've seen is the community of Playwright. There are so many folks who are doing stuff on Playwright and they are just using it like anything. So there are jobs with Playwright a lot more than compared to Cypress and Selenium. Selenium is like
Okay.
it's dying off now because Playwright has so much better things than Selenium and Cypress.
Okay. Probably we'll definitely talk on that in future. But now the main thing, like just jumping directly to the main topic. Ki, how did you start preparing for your interviews? Like I know you reached out to me that you wanted to change the job, but you first work in US shift, if I'm not wrong. What was your time of like your daily schedule of work?
So when I started off, it was like I used to work on my time only because I was like I was used to working for like probably 10 to 6 or maybe 9 to 5. So I used to work like that. But later on, when things started going on, right? So we had a team from Ukraine also. We had team from US also, and I was from India. So it was like complete time clash in between when it's evening for you Ukraine people, it's like almost morning in afternoon, and for US it's night. So it was
Okay.
like that, and later on, like after 3 months, I had to work on night time also. Like it was like for some time I'm working in the morning or afternoon, and after that, obviously, you have to sync with developers. I have to work with the maybe my founder and all. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to work at night also for some time. Maybe sometime I have to stretch my working hours from 11 to 1. I'm working for some days at
Mm-hmm.
night.
Okay.
So that was something that started paining me because I'm working on morning also, then I'm working at night time also.
Okay. So with this busy schedule, how did you start preparing for your interviews and all?
See how it started was basically when this thing started to happen. I was like, okay, let's try to switch a job now because I was like, I can't work like this.
The
And
work-life
also,
balance was not there in this company.
work life balance work. I had to work for 8 hours only. There was like very less days where I'm working for more than like they were working for more like 12 hours, 13 hours. There were not much days. The thing was the time thing that I have to work at night also some days. I even if
Mm-hmm.
I want to work at morning, right, I can't work because there is no one.
All
Or
right. Okay.
yeah, they are logging in by evening or at night time India. So that time I was like, okay, and I was also confident that I'm working, probably I will find a job easily. So I
Okay.
started applying for interviews. I applied for like 1.5 months. I gave few interviews, and I think mostly all the interviews were rejected in first round only. I was not even able to clear first round.
Why was that happening? Like,
I was not prepared for coding. Most of the times I was rejected. Like I gave 3 to 4 interviews, I think so. And I applied
mhm.
for like 20, 30 companies. I got,
Okay.
so I did it, and most of the time, like, first round coding, I was rejected for all
Okay.
3 4 companies. That time, that was the time that it hit me that okay, probably I have to start from scratch because I didn't even prepare for much, and I just started giving the interviews.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the time when I reached out to you in January.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, the thing is, yeah, I have seen your entire journey of like how you have studied, and then you have reached.
to, like right now in working in Amazon. But the thing that I want to ask is, like you said that you have given like 20 companies interview and you were getting rejected for majorly on the coding round. And this is actually the pain point for everyone, okay, including me, that, like you tend to solve a lot of questions, okay, but if you start revising those things, one fine day you want to solve a particular question that you have solved it in the past, all right, but that particular moment you're not able to come up with the logic, because like you forget about the logic key, how you were solving that particular problem in the past, right? So how do you handle that kind of stuff? Okay. And the second thing is, what was your strategy or what was your study technique when you study for these logic building questions or coding questions? How do you handle and tackle those things?
Okay. So the first thing, see how I started studying in LMS. Okay. I knew like you can say basic to intermediate level of Java already because I
Hmm.
had learned it in my last year of my college, but I never got a chance to work on Java. So by the time I started giving interviews, I like completely forgot because you have not even touched it for like almost 2 years, 2.5 years, right? So that time was like, okay, let's start preparing. So I started with Java module only in
Hmm.
LMS. And see, it's designed in a such a way where we are building a project from scratch and we're taking it to a complete end-to-end project. So that's how I was revising. I used to spend time on, first of all, I started with Java. I was like, okay, first thing is I have to revise my concepts of Java. Once I'm aware of Java, I can start looking at coding questions. So I started with that and I finished it. Like I used to whenever I'm watching some video, right? I used to follow the steps alongside. You are doing some coding, I'm also doing parallelly. So that's how
Okay.
I did it. And I did it till exception handling. After that, I was like, okay. And in this time also, I was applying for interviews. It was not like I was not applying. I was applying. I didn't used to get much interviews and calls. And also, it was like I was applying just to see that if I can get or not. It was like,
Hmm.
okay, I know that this is the time when I have to prepare. I don't have to look out for interviews aggressively. So I was just applying, and I used to get like maybe 1 2 interviews to every 2 weeks, and I used
Okay.
to interview just to keep myself like in the market that okay what they're asking, and also keep me in sync.
So
So
obviously, okay. So you're advising that whoever is giving or preparing for interviews, you should always give interviews. That's the first thing, like irrespective
yeah,
of whether
don't
you're getting rejected or selected, right? Every couple of weeks, you should give interviews, and that's something which I tell everyone. People don't listen to me. Okay, first they're gonna complete the course, and then they'll start giving the interviews. But that's not. I know that that's not how things happen, because like you might spend the whole year studying, but the way to articulate and like say it in front of interviewer is a different or altogether ball game, right?
yeah.
So confidence is something that you should always like you can't really get it unless you start failing those interviews. You'll know that like you'll get slowly and steadily there where you're able to answer all those questions.
So when I finished Java module, right, and there was a time when I was working alongside Java module and coding questions. I was doing both together. So it was like maybe one question, two question. I was trying to solve every day. But the day I stopped watching Java module, that was the day I went into solving coding questions like anything. I used to. There was days when I have watched like 10 videos also for coding questions. I just used to sit in front of the videos and I'm watching and I'm coding. Like it
Okay.
was on weekends, not on weekdays because I can't give
Hmm.
this much time on weekdays. I have a job also. On
Okay.
weekend, like maybe I'm spending like 3 4 hours
Hmm.
continuously, maybe taking sometime like a break and all. And after that, I'm solving again questions. When I started solving coding questions, I had a pretty fair idea of what the guys are asking in interviews. So I was
Because you
aware
have
that
already given a lot of
ha,
interviews
I
and
have already given by that time I have already given like maybe 10 12 interviews, and I don't know how many companies I have applied.
let's say someone like me, okay, assume that I am a manual tester with 5 years of experience and okay with coding, just basic idea of Java. Okay, how many hours I should be spending, okay, studying from the LMS or studying daily, like how much time I should be spending over here.
So the first thing is if you like let's suppose you have 5 years experience, right, and you are not aware about coding much, you have to be at a place where you have to See, first thing is you have to tell yourself that okay, I am not good at coding. I have to give time to it. The first thing is people are not even ready to accept it. Leave the thing about learning. Once you are doing that, right, maybe 2 hours a day at least, 1.5 to 2 hours. If you can give it, that's fine.
Only
And
on Java. Only
only
on
on
Java.
Java, because
Okay.
you will start with Java, then after that probably move to Playwright, start learning about that. And on weekends also, I can say uh, how much time you can give, just give it. If you can give maybe 5 hours also, just give it.
Okay. So the majority of the focus should be on Java, and then later on you should start
Yeah, first
focusing on
clear the
different things.
basics, because the first round will be coding round for every interview. If you
Okay.
can't clear that, they will not, you will not even reach till automation and manual testing.
Now, when you were giving the interviews, obviously the first round was on coding. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, the second round, like what kind of questions they have asked in the second round? Okay, I'm talking in from the general companies that you have seen. Okay, obviously they'll ask the questions on tell me about your framework and all, but particular to the testing scenarios, all right, testing a particular system, writing test cases and all. Okay, these kinds of questions. How many of these interviews you have faced such questions over there?
So the very general pattern that I have observed in most of the companies is first round, as I said, it will be coding. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Once they have judged you on your coding, right, the second round they move into testing. How you can create a framework, how you can you write automation scenarios. They will give you some random scenario that okay, write me a code snippet in Playwright, maybe to log in into a website or something. Very
Okay.
simple. This question alone will be judging if you can write a code, if you're aware of Playwright, if you can use Java or any coding language also, and if you can write XPath also.
So
So XPath or
they
CSS.
check on your XPath code snippets,
Yeah,
okay, on the respective library.
yeah.
All right. Now, what kind of scenarios like they have asked for, like automation or testing for you?
Uh, I still remember like two of the scenarios that have been asked. One was in Amazon only. They asked me to write the entire bus search functionality in Playwright.
Hmm.
Not in Playwright. Basically, I will tell you this I have seen with most of the companies. Right now, companies are also understanding that there are like so many tools in the market. They are just telling you like if the company and the person who is taking your interview is knowledgeable enough, they're going to ask you just write me the code snippet in whichever tool you're comfortable. I just want to see that can you write it or not.
Okay.
This is the first thing. So in Amazon, they asked me search for a bus from this like enter source, enter destination city, search for it and just see the buses are coming or not.
Red bus automation.
Red bus. They asked me this one, and for one company, this was kind of a tricky question. They asked me, so they judged my XPath also, and they judged that if I can write UI automation or also not. They told me you have to go to the Facebook page. In Facebook page, you have to write the locator also for email and password. But they said while writing locator for password, you have to use email only, like the attributes of email. You can't use.
Got it. With one locator, you try to find another locator.
So they
Okay.
asked me, and after that, they said just click on login.
And how much questions have they asked on the topic like Jenkins, Docker, Git, the DevOps questions?
Um, Jenkins, they have asked you have to have some basic idea. No, I'm not saying that you have to be aware of how you write code and how you build stages on Jenkins file. If you are
Mhm.
aware about that, that's fine because I did it in my past company, like first company. So I had a basic idea about it, and it's very easy. It's not even tough. Like you can just Google the snippet, you will start to understand. And
Mhm.
Git will be there. Every company mostly they will ask because at the end you are writing code, you have to push it somewhere. You have to keep take the changes from other testers and developers who are working, right? So you have to
Mhm.
understand Git, and most of
Mhm.
the companies are using it these days.
Okay. So what was the question? Git branching model or Git commands?
Git command, how you are taking a pull. Let's suppose I am working on a branch. Another developer has pushed their code. You want to take their changes. They can ask two scenarios here. Do you want to take their changes from main branch? You want to take their changes from their branch where they have pushed the code. How you delete a branch, how you update your local branch, delete a commit, reset your head, and all these questions. Basic stuff only that they're
Okay.
using. They're not going to ask you like how you are resolving merge conflicts and all these things. They are not going to ask
You
you.
didn't got this particular question, but I've seen people, like getting this particular question also. Okay, like, how did you resolve the conflict? I think so. You were just lucky. Nahi aaya.
Yeah, if you can, if see, one company they asked me, but if you are aware of it, right, you can use GitHub UI also to do that, and you can use
Mhm.
VS Code also to do that.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay. Now, How did you start applying for Amazon? Now I'm just coming to the main question, what people will be really interested in. Okay. So how did you start, like, or got the call from Amazon right now?
So before my interview was scheduled in Amazon, I had applied for Amazon before that also. It was always like I want to go into some big company. Everyone wants to do that, right? Sorry.
Hmm.
So I was applying for Amazon. I had like applied for maybe 10, 15 times before that also. So one fine day, so I had an habit of when I was looking out for a job, right? Uh, when I was looking out, the thing was like instead of scrolling Instagram, I used to scroll LinkedIn every day. Maybe for whenever I'm going to sleep at night, I'm going to scroll the LinkedIn. That okay, let's see if I can find anything that I can apply or not. So there one fine day I was just like, okay, I found one opening. So my current manager he posted on LinkedIn that they are hiring for a QA profile. From there on,
Hmm.
I got this. I commented on that post like, can you accept my connection request and all. I sent him the connection request. He accepted my request, and from there on, this process went on. I pinged him. I had a call with him. It took me like almost 3 weeks, 4 weeks just to get a hang of him. Following up with him continuously.
All right, got it. And how many rounds did you face for Amazon interview?
So for Amazon interview, first was phone screening. First was phone screening. It was with HR. So
Hmm.
that after that manager round, automation testing round, and manual testing round. So one more thing is, if you are going to give interview for Amazon, most of the times you will get an automated test also. That will be after HR call. For me, it didn't happen because I already spoke with manager. So before scheduling my interview, he had a call with me on mobile for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. That day, he asked me some technical questions also, and he asked me about my past experience also in very brief. So I think so.
What
That's
kind
the
of technical questions do you remember right now? Like
it
what
was
kind of
Java question.
questions?
It was Java
Pure
question.
Java questions. Okay.
Not- because in Amazon everywhere they're using Java mostly.
Okay. Okay.
So and also it's like every company right now is looking out for Java only. It's like in most of the openings you will see Java somewhere or the other place.
And when you're looking at the Java questions, was it completely related to your, let's say, maps? What kind of topic they have asked?
He asked about collections about list, and other than that, he was majorly focusing on what all I have done in my past company, what I am doing right now, and what I'm
Hmm.
looking for.
Looking for.
Yeah.
And what did you answer for that?
Yeah, so he was asking me like why you wanted to switch and all. So I was like very honest with him that that's why I want to switch. So that's
What did
I
you
just
say? What did you say? People
I
are really
told him
interested in knowing that. Okay.
I told him directly that I'm working at a startup in US, so the working hours are not aligning with my teammates. So I had to work at night time also. So that's why I'm looking. So again, I told him his counter question was same. He said that what if you have to work at night time in Amazon also? So I told
Hmm.
him that some days are fine, but here I have to work almost every day now because
Okay.
the culture is like that. They are working at night, and I understand that. I don't complain about this, but this is not something that I want. So I
Hmm.
told him, I was honest with him. So that's what I directly told him. And after that, he was like, what all, he started asking my skills. He also took my resume before scheduling a call with me
All
for
right.
first call. So he went through my resume also. So he was asking, he went through my resume. He asked a couple of questions that what all you have used and all this. In Java also, he was asking me, what was the last time you have used it? So I was honest with him that time also that I have not used Java very like for some time now, but I am aware about Java. So when I told him, right, that time he started asking me a few questions that, okay, what all collections you have used? If you want to maybe use Java with Selenium and something, what all you are using? There were like, at that time I was studying from LMS, right? So I was aware about all the 3P libraries that we are using with the Playwright and all. Access a workbook to read the data from Excel, right? We are using that. So all these questions he asked me. It was basic, not very tough, but he just wanted to understand that what all I know before
Okay.
scheduling.
Like you have this interview with managers and all, and when you give your resume to them, they generally go and check your GitHub repos and also, right? They check how many projects that you have pushed over there. Whether such things happened with you.
No, I didn't had even GitHub link on my resume.
Resume.
I
Okay.
didn't had it, I will be honest. But the other thing was, see, this was what my manager told me, okay? When I joined, why he scheduled my interview was one thing. I reached out to him, I kept on following up with him. No one
Okay.
else, people reached out to me once or twice, and after that, nobody pinged him again. First
Hmm.
thing was this. Another thing was I was active on LinkedIn. I used to post.
So you used to follow him continuously, and generally, I think so. This is a good way because generally, what happens, it shows that you're really proactive and you're really looking for this particular job. Okay.
Yeah, he
Mm.
still has his post on LinkedIn, and he even showed me he got 2,000 resumes for just one opening. He has screened like 1,000 resumes on by himself.
Okay. Okay.
So
So yeah,
people follow
after
from
this
within, right?
particular call, right, you just make sure you give me your resume. I'm gonna attach it. Just remove your personal
It's
information so that people
it's very
don't.
simple. I will give it.
Okay. But still give it off because generally what happens, people have this, like your resume might give idea to people
Ah,
like what all information and how exactly they should write their roles and responsibilities over there.
yeah,
Because
that.
I really liked how exactly you put down your roles and responsibilities over there. Okay. Now, coming to this was about your phone screening, right?
Hmm.
Okay. After this, you had any coding round. What was the thing?
Yeah, yeah, coding round was there. So after this also, HR called me. It was an again telephonic round. So again, HR questions. There were basic questions like again your experience, why you want to join Amazon and all. These were basic questions. And he just it this round happened for like maybe 15-20 minutes. He just wanted to know my experience and all. So this
Hmm.
was first kind of technical HR round. After that third round, again, it was with my manager only who took my first round, who took my telephonic round. It
Okay.
was a core round. So this was mix of automation and manual testing. This was a mix of how you work, how you have to work, how you have to like if you are good fit for the team or not. So
Let's discuss a little bit about this particular round, like
uh,
what kind of questions they have asked over there.
so again, it started with introduction only. He
Mhm.
asked me my introduction, and
How do you introduce yourself? Generally, like I just want everything to be discussed in today's call because what happens is when people will be watching this particular stuff now, they should just have the idea, okay, like, okay, how to, like just make the introduction a little bit better. Because if you are able to crack the interview, probably you are doing something in a different way, like what other people are not able to do that. All right. So, how do you introduce yourself? What do you talk about? Like, let's just discuss everything over here.
yeah, so for introduction, all see, first thing I'm going to tell you, whatever you are going to say in introduction, right, that is going to decide the direction of your interview.
Okay.
This is the very first thing. If you say something that you don't know, you're going to mess up because they are going to ask you questions on that. I have done
Mm.
that. I have been at that place.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
people usually say that, okay, I know this, I know that also. They want to say literally everything in introduction, and then once they start pushing off that, okay, I'm going to ask this guy because at the end you only said you know this, right? Then they're going to ask you and
Mhm.
you are not going to answer because you don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
So introduction again, I start with my name from where for which year pass out I am, and I have like this year of experience, like 3 years of experience. This is the first like 2 lines of my introduction. After that, I'm going to tell him where I am currently working. Okay, and
Mhm.
next thing is I am just directly jumping onto my skills.
Yeah, your skills was majorly in Cyprus, right?
Huh.
And the Java thing which you have studied with us. How did you say that, like Java and all, like, or did you just say ki you have done it in your office project, the Selenium in Java, or like what's the thing over there?
Yeah, so the thing is, I didn't used to tell them that if I have done it or not. The thing is, I'm just going to tell him that these are the skills that I know and I have worked upon. So
Okay.
splitted my skills like this. First of all, I'm going to say that again I have experience in automation and manual testing both. Okay. Then I'm going to list down the skills in automation. For automation, for UI testing, I know like maybe I know Cypress, I know a little bit of Selenium also, but I know Playwright also. I have worked on
Mm.
it. Let's suppose you know all three, you tell them. If you know only one, just tell one. For UI automation, I know Playwright, I know Cypress. Okay. And after that, you're going to tell for API automation. Let's suppose you have used Postman, maybe you have used some REST Assured or Cucumber. You tell them for API
Mhm.
automation. And after that, you move to your coding, your language skills. Like in programming languages, maybe I know Java. Okay, I only know Java. I am going to say I only know Java. If you have done some JavaScript also for UI automation, okay, I have basic idea of JavaScript also. This you tell. After that, you're moving to maybe general skills. Like I know for databases, I know MySQL, I know Jenkins. I have a big idea about Jenkins, and that's it.
All right. Okay.
The idea is
So
like you should finish your introduction in at max 1 to 1.5 minutes. That's it.
got
Don't
it.
kill it off
Don't
more than.
stretch it off.
Huh.
Okay. All right. And after that, what was the next question, if you remember?
Um, for after introduction, yeah. So after introduction, he was just he. I still remember. I think so. He asked me about this only. So you are using Cypress. Why? Can you compare Cypress and Playwright for me? Maybe it was this
Hmm.
question again. Why are you using Cypress over Playwright? So these types of questions they are going to ask you. This is something where you have to answer. Like if you, let's suppose if you are someone who has decided, maybe you are into senior role or something, right? You have decided to use Cypress. Why you are using it? If your company is already using it, then also you can say that they're using it, but at the same time you tell them why you are using Cypress. Maybe like in Cypress, now to Playwright also have done it, but in Cypress they have this thing like whenever you are running your tests on Cypress, they are less. Like what do you call that, they will fail less because of like some elements are not loading or something, right? Because what I am aware of is Playwright is using some HTTPS protocol or something, whereas Cypress they are running your test like you are running you are opening on a real browser.
Real browser.
So that's why if you run your test on Cypress, you will get to, you will see that they are much more stable as compared to Playwright or Selenium.
When you compared Cypress and Playwright, okay, what was your answer over there? What all points did you just told them?
I directly told him, see, I am using Cypress, right? I am not going to favor Playwright for now. I told him
Hmm.
that these are the things, and also I told him few disadvantages of Cypress, like like Cypress doesn't have multi-tab support. This is a
Yeah,
big disadvantage. This doesn't have.
most of the plugins are paid plugins also. Community support is less.
Community support is not there, and also the very basic thing that is not there. If you have worked in Cypress, drag and drop is a pain. There is
Hmm.
no particular library in Cypress that supports it. You have to use n number of third-party libraries, and once you get to know that is also an issue. Like you can use this library on Chrome, maybe you can't use it on Firefox because
Got it.
Firefox is not a Chromium-based driver browser.
Yes, makes
So
sense.
these are the things I compared it with him. And
Hmm.
after that, see, this was the question. And after that, I directly jumped into manual testing, automation testing, everything. So we
All
can
right.
take questions about that also.
Okay. So what kind of questions did he ask on the like manual testing and all?
For manual testing, so basically, he started asking me questions. So I was working in a company that was related to trading, right? So he started asking me questions. So he started asking me, okay, let's pick up any broker in India. Let's suppose he said, okay, let's pick up Zerodha. So he said, you're
Hmm.
working as a test automation engineer and as a tester. What is happening is
Hmm.
market is open, but you are not seeing the stock prices updating on Zerodha UI. How are you going to debug it?
Okay.
What is
And
your
what was your way to answer this particular question? How did you decide ki how you're going to test this application?
So first, see if someone asks you a question out of the blue, right? Like no one would have prepared you for this question that they are going to
That,
ask you. The
that's
first
the
thing
reason.
is, so that's the first thing. The first thing you have to do is just think about it from a very human perspective. That let's suppose you are using Zerodha. Zerodha is not working. What you are going to do? The first
Hmm.
thing I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe check another broker. Is it a issue across brokers or is it a issue just with Zerodha? This is the first thing you check. Maybe if it's an issue with the all brokers, then maybe it's an issue from SEBI or NSE side. The
Hmm.
prices
Hmm.
are not updating, and if other brokers are working, then okay, now you are sure that okay, this is an issue from Zerodha side only. Now
Okay.
after that, I told him that okay, he see, I just gave him a rough idea because again, I don't know what all things go behind, right? There are so many things. So I told him that okay, let's suppose it's a issue with Zerodha only. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to check our APIs and all. I'm going to there will be some dashboard for monitoring also there, right?
Hmm.
Maybe some dashboard where we are printing our logs and all. I'm going
Network calls logs, yeah.
uh, I'm going to check it. Or if nothing is there, let's suppose I'm just going to open our network tab and I'm going to check. I'm going to perform some actions and say, I will see some calls are happening, some call is failing. What's the issue?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That's how I'm going to debug it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. And this was the first question related to manual testing.
This was the first question related to manual testing. After that, also he pushed it. I don't remember the exact. Also, this discussion went for like almost 10 minutes. He said that okay, now you found that there is an issue on maybe API side or maybe a UI side. Now, how you are going to dive down into that? What's the specific issue? He said that I want. Let's suppose there is an issue in this API or maybe in this. This is the reason. How you are going to dive down into that? So
Got
again,
it.
for this also you have to tell him that, okay, let's suppose there are a bunch of APIs. What's happening is, maybe let's suppose there is a UI issue, right? What is happening? Sorry, there is an API issue. What's happening? Our API is pulling the data from NSE maybe, and it's
Mm.
storing it on our on our side, and we are reflecting it on the UI. Maybe data is not getting pulled. There is some issue.
Yes.
If data is
Yes.
getting pulled, maybe we are storing it. It's not going to the UI. There is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I broke it down like in steps, and I told him there can be like this issue, this issue, this issue, this issue. Now, about
Mm-hmm.
of these two, three issues, maybe one will be the issue.
Okay. And apart from this, any other questions you remember for manual testing?
Yeah, red bus automation was asked in this only. He asked me this.
Red bus automation. Okay.
Yeah,
And you wrote the script in front of him, or he just asked you what will be the like you wrote the entire script, or you
and
wrote the snippet?
in front of him. It
Okay.
was rough idea. He said just he just said, I don't want you to beautify and all. He just said just write me the rough code, like page dot go to this. After
And you
that,
wrote it with the help of Cypress.
huh,
Okay. Makes sense. All right. And this was your first one was phone, then HR, then this became the manager round, right?
this was manager.
So this is the third round. And after the third round, like when was the next round coming into picture? Mm-hmm.
So second round was coding round, pure coding,
Okay.
coding plus automation.
Mm.
So again, this round also went again, started with introduction, and also for second round and for this automation round and the next round, there were two people in both.
Okay.
Second round again started with introduction. Then after that, from my introduction, I said about Cypress. They jumped directly into Cypress. They started asking me questions on Cypress. Uh, in Cypress, they asked me questions on iframes. They asked me questions on drag and drop. They asked me
Mm-hmm.
questions on API calls also, how you intercept API calls in Cypress.
Mm-hmm. All
So
right.
it went for like 15 minutes or so, maybe. After that, they directly jumped into coding round. So coding
Okay.
questions, they again asked me two coding questions. One was related to, I think so, it was related to strings or something. It was kind of medium to above level question. Uh,
Okay.
I discussed the logic of this question, but I was not able to form a approach. Like I was not able to code it. I spent like 10 minutes. They don't give more than 10 minutes. They said, did you decided any approach? And in this 10 minutes also, I was constantly like talking to the interview that, okay, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm trying to achieve. Okay.
So when you are writing the code, you're also explaining them your logic, how you will approach this
I was
particular
not
problem.
writing the code. The first thing I tried to write the code, and I spent like 2-3 minutes, and I was like, okay, I thought about an approach. It was a brute force approach, and
Mm-hmm.
that was also not correct. I got to know like in first 2 minutes only. Then after
Okay.
that, I started discussing with him. I see, if you don't know, you have to take hints from interview. You have to take the hints from interviewer. I started asking and I started explaining him that, okay, this is what I'm thinking. So he said, okay, maybe think in this direction. I started thinking, and we spent like 10 minutes. I formed an approach, but that was like it worked for one scenario, but it then he gave me one another scenario. He said that in this it will fail. I
Mm.
said, yeah. He said, yeah, you didn't thought about edge cases. So this was the question. And again, from here on, they again started asking me few questions on automation. They started asking me some XPath, how you write the XPath. And after that, they were like, okay, we are going to ask you one more question for coding. It was like
Mm-hmm.
last 10-20 minutes of the interview, 10-15 minutes. So they asked me one arrays question. That was also like medium kind of level questions, you can say. So
Mm-hmm.
that I solved.
Okay. And talking about your XPath question, what kind of question was there for XPath?
He asked me XPath on Amazon website only. I remember, if I remember, he just told me to search for a product. I think so. He told me to search for smartphone on Amazon, and he
Hmm?
said there are a bunch of smartphones. Now write me a locator to locate the fifth smartphone. And he
Ah,
said,
that's
I
easy.
don't want to hard code it. You have to
Mhm.
write it in some way because this can change tomorrow.
And regarding the array question, was it a lead code question, or have you seen that particular question somewhere, or
No,
it's
no,
from
no.
the logic?
Both are
No.
questions that were asked, I have never seen.
Okay. Okay. So do let me know. I'm going to probably keep it over here in the discussion section so that people can see that particular question and even practice it.
I
All right.
have
I
even
think you have. I think you have given me that particular question. I know that.
Yeah, I have given you the question also, and I have created a post also for explaining all the three rounds. I'm going to give the content to you of that post. You can just
So
post it.
please, please, I'll put it off over there. Directly put the link over there.
Uh,
Okay. Now, after this, you had one more round, or that was the final round?
no, no, one more
And
round.
okay, what was the last round all about?
That was core manual.
Core manual. Okay.
Uh,
Okay. It started with coding and ended up on manual testing then.
yeah,
So
so
what
they did it
uh,
like that. It started with
Okay.
coding and they ended up with manual.
Interesting. And what kind of questions they asked over there?
So this was they asked me like three scenarios to write. So this is like core manual. They're going to give you time like and this round went for like what it was scheduled for 1 hour, but it went for like 1.5 hours. This round.
Okay.
It was
Pure discussion. That's it.
pure discussion on manual testing, pure discussion on writing the scenarios. I wrote like scenarios. They give me three scenarios. I wrote like 12 cases for one scenario, 11 cases for one, and 10 cases for one. It was something like that.
Impressive. Okay. And
So
did they allow you to use GPT to write the scenarios, or you were just coming like with your own thoughts, how
on
exactly you're supposed?
own thoughts.
All right. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
So yeah, again, the first thing was again they were asking me the basic questions only, what the test case contains, if you are creating a test data, what the test data should contain, and all those things. And the
Mm-hmm.
manual testing questions was they asked me. I still remember two of the three, I think so. The first one was they said that let's suppose you are going to book a bus, right? So they said let's suppose Amazon is going to launch bus booking or anything, any app is any company is going to launch. So the thing is, what they in each bus there will be some seats that will be reserved for especially able people. There will be
Yeah.
some bus seats that will be reserved for females, and
Yeah.
another seats anyone can take. So he said, keeping this in mind, write the most like the scenarios that you can think of, most obvious scenarios. Okay,
Okay.
think about negative scenarios, think about positive scenarios, and write like. And he also gave me like write at least 10 scenarios. I want at
Got
least
it.
10. And
Okay.
again, you have to write in a given period. They told me like first I was taking the time. I was taking time. It went like for 5 minutes, 7 minutes. I wrote like four scenarios. Okay, I was thinking and I was thinking about too much. Then he said, "Don't think too much. Where I'm going to give you like 3 4 more minutes. Just write what you can think." I
Okay.
just want the scenarios. Then I wrote like 6 7 more scenarios. So this was the first case. Then second case was with Amazon Pay UPI. So he said, let's suppose you are paying on Amazon Pay UPI. Amazon Pay is going to introduce a feature.
Mm-hmm.
But this feature will be if you are paying, you can set a timer. Let's suppose I'm paying you some 100 rupees. I can set a timer that okay, after 5 minutes you will receive that money.
Hmm.
He said,
Okay.
now write the scenarios for this.
Okay.
This was second. Third, I don't remember now. I don't.
That's fine. Okay. And then after that, you got the news that you got selected for Amazon. Couple of weeks later, probably.
Huh.
Okay. Yeah.
They took their good time.
Okay. Now that you're working in Amazon, what is the tech stack that you're using over there currently? Is it the same that you have studied with me and you see everywhere, or they have some their own proprietary tools and like processes that they don't like you don't see it outside the market of Amazon?
Hmm. Okay. So how it goes is in Amazon. See, first thing is coding. For coding language, they are mostly using Java. There are
Okay.
other teams that are using other languages also, but what
Mm,
I have seen majorly is from
mm,
other team also. While talking with them, it's Java. Some teams are
mm,
using C++ also. Okay.
mhm,
So coding for language, this is fine, but for internal tools, there are many things that they're using internally, but it's like that for UI automation, like some teams are using Selenium, some teams are using Playwright. It's like that.
mhm,
For
mhm.
API automation, also we are using you can say kind of rest assured framework. It's
All
like
right.
they have built on top of it something like
Okay.
that. It's rest
Okay.
assured only. And for UI automation, I already told you. Yeah. So these are the things majorly. I am
Okay.
working on UI automation and API both right now.
You might see the news everywhere that like we have these AI tools coming into picture. My question to you is how much Amazon uses AI, okay, in their projects, particularly how much AI you use, okay, in your own automation work, okay, in Amazon.
So see what how I see this right now is right now you should if you are not using AI, first thing is you have to really think about this that why you are not using it
Mm-hmm.
because this is something if it like in Amazon everyone is pushing even developers even testers like literally everyone they're pushing like anything that you have to use AI. First thing.
Okay.
So how I am using AI, I am using AI literally in everything. Even for right now, I'm working on a project. Even if I have to file the bugs, right? So what I
Mm,
have done is I have created a GPT inside in my local only. Basically, I have
mm,
trained GPT on that project. I have given the BRD and mocks and all. So whenever I
mhm.
have to file a bug, right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to explain the issue in 1 or 2 lines, and that GPT is going to spit me out the title of the issue, the steps to replicate, what is the behavior and what's the issue. So
Okay.
literally like I'm using to file it. For writing test cases also I'm using it, but you have to be aware that right now the AI agents are not this advanced that they can write edge cases and negative, like
Okay.
they can cover full on. You have to go through the cases and you have to think by yourself also.
Okay. Okay.
And for coding also I'm using like most of the times right now, where my time goes and where everyone's time I'm seeing is going is not on writing the code, it's on like how you write a code that is scalable. If you
Okay.
are design, like let's suppose I am writing an automation framework for some anything inside Amazon or anything outside Amazon also, you can easily tell the AI that okay, I want to do this, it's going to spit out the code to you, but you have
Okay.
to really understand how you're going to scale it. You have to tell the
Okay.
AI that okay, no, don't hard code everything in the test. Maybe create a data provider for this. Maybe create
Mhm,
a helper function for this. Put
mhm.
the expert follow page object model, right?
Okay.
Things like that. So this is where your time goes. And another thing where my time goes is testing the code that is written by AI. Because if you are not writing it, you have to test it out. You test it out
How
on
how do you test it out over there? Like, let's say GPT, or which tool do you use for generating the AI code and all over there? Are you
it's
using Claude or
already.
Chat GPT?
Yeah,
Or
they have their own tools. They
so
name it.
Amazon has its own tool over there. What's the name
But
of it?
they are powered by Claude and these things only.
They're powered by Claude. Okay, okay. So they have customized it based on their own requirement and
Uh,
all. Okay, makes sense. All right. So how do you test the code which has been generated by AI? What is your approach for that?
So you have to test it across various scenarios. Like let's suppose I have wrote some code about anything on Amazon, right? Let's suppose on product search or something. You test it
Mhm,
out on different accounts. You test it out first of all on different scenarios. Like okay, let's suppose it's working on my account, right? Is it working on another account also? You test it
mhm,
out on different environments. Like you have dev, you have staging, you have production, right? Test it
mhm.
out that it's working. Maybe on production the latency is already latency is too low, that's why your code is working, but on some internal environment, maybe staging, right, the latency is more, the page is taking time to load and your code will fail. So these are
Okay.
the scenarios. You run it out, you run the test cases, you see how it is working.
So yeah, now I need your advice. And probably I want you to give advice to the folks who are preparing for interviews. Key, let's say someone is having like around 3 months of notice period. Okay, you know that with 3 months of notice period, you're not gonna get any job calls, right? But how to use this 3 months, okay, to prepare for the interviews fast and in a better way. So, what should be the first thing that folks should study? Okay, let's say you have so many things to study right now, right? The tech stacks for automation testers and SDET keeps on increasing every single day. So, if someone needs to prepare for the interview 3 months from now, the first priority should be what?
See, the first priority, I already said, first thing is they're going to ask you coding questions. First round will be this.
All
Most
right.
of the companies, if you're giving interviews in 10 companies, of like 7 or 8 companies, they're going to ask you coding round first thing.
Okay, right.
Prepare on Java. First thing is
Mm,
after Java, start going through coding questions. See, the one more thing is what helped me is I was giving a lot of interviews. So I had one habit after my interview, right? I'm going to sit down. I'm going to write down the questions that they have asked, and if I remember any. One
mm.
thing I'm going to do for sure is whatever coding questions they're asking, I'm going to write it down because I
Okay.
know they will be asked in some company or other in the next rounds, right?
Again, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I am going to write down this. This will help you to get the questions and to get to understand that okay, these are the questions they're asking.
Okay.
This is the
So
first thing.
after Java and probably solving coding questions, the next thing, should I pick up API, like probably with Rest Assured or Postman? And how many questions they asked you for Postman? Anyone, like with so many interviews that you have given so far, any particular question that you remember for the topic of Postman, or
Yeah,
directly it was for API testing?
it was for API testing also. It was for Postman also because I have automated cases with the Postman and Newman. Okay.
Okay.
So Newman,
Okay.
like it's a CLI tool for Postman. So
Mm-hmm.
I have automated. So they used to ask, but not much. There was one specific interviewer that went in too much depth in Postman. Like he literally started asking, like he said that, okay, tell me what are the disadvantages of Postman.
Got it. Yeah.
So this is like one in the blue moon scenario that they will ask you these type of questions, but most of the time you just have to get to know that, okay, this is Postman, this is the basic UI, this is how you hit a call and all those things.
So, what would you suggest after Java and coding? Should someone start with probably UI automation or first focus on get API automation done?
Uh, I will still say UI because again, see the thing
Hmm.
is, if you tell the UI automation in AP automation, there are a lot of things they can, if you know, let's suppose AP automation, they can put you down in database. They will go to into database. Maybe if you don't know, then you have to go to database also. At least
Hmm.
first understand that at least you know, I know UI automation. In UI automation, you know how to write XPath, CSS locators, and you are understanding that, okay, this is how I can automate something.
Got it. Got it.
UI is
Okay.
quick. You can learn UI before going to AP.
Now, my one question, like this particular question has been asked to me a lot of times. You have Selenium, you have Cypress, and you have Playwright. Okay, three tools are there in the market. Okay, if you have to pick one tool, okay, which tool do you think should people learn first now for better job opportunities? Okay,
Right.
Playwright. Okay, Playwright with Java or Playwright with TypeScript
No, Playwright with
or
Java.
Playwright with Python. Yeah,
Playwright with
Java.
Java.
Okay, is this because you're using Java over there? इसके लिए?
No, you
Have
just
you
start.
seen a lot of job opportunities for Playwright Java over there?
Yeah, there are a lot of
Okay.
opportunities. In most, like if you're going through like 10 jobs, right? Out of 10, 7 or 8 jobs, you will see they will be mentioning Java in some or the other place.
All right. So I think that's all I had for today, yaar. Thank you so much for taking time. It's already going to be midnight now. So yeah, thank you so much for taking time out. Like it really means a lot. You have given so much great insight to how exactly, like someone should be preparing for interview. And I'm pretty sure, like if people watch this particular one, they will get a decent idea on how to prepare for interviews. And one last thing, like just before we end this particular call, the how is your approach on networking? Or let's say, like people always say you should network more and try to get more, like job opportunities and all. Okay, what's your way of doing it? Do you apply jobs on Naukri or directly you reach out to the HRs and the managers on LinkedIn? One, though I know you reach out to them on Twitter. Okay, what's the other way you do it?
I reach out to them on LinkedIn also. So make a habit. So I was speaking with one more person, like she was also looking out for a job. I told her also the same thing. You just have to say, I'll give you one hack. You just have to trick your LinkedIn algorithm. Okay,
Hmm.
just how you see, you like one reel on Instagram, you get those many reels, like sort of reels on Instagram, right? Just
Mhm.
start going through job openings. If you are getting some job opening, comment down maybe on it, start liking it. At one point, my feed was like totally filled with job openings. You open, you will see you scroll one, you see one post, job opening. You scroll two more posts, you see job opening. So
Got it.
that's the way to trick. Because see, if you are going to apply on jobs in job portal, right? There are a lot of people that are applying from there, but there are like so many openings that went unnoticed because the recruiter is not posting it. They are just creating a post on LinkedIn that, okay, we are hiring
Mhm.
for this. Maybe you will not find it in job section.
All right.
So you do that.
Directly.
And if you find a post like this, reach out to the recruiter, text her on LinkedIn. If you can't text her, maybe text him or text her. You just get the mail ID or something, comment down on that post that, okay, I'm
Mhm.
interested in this opening.
Okay. So do you add the HRs in your connections, right? That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you do.
Whenever I'm seeing an HR, I am just adding.
Okay. Okay. HR देखिए add कर दो बस. All
हाँ,
right. चलो बढ़िया है. Thank you so much, Rohan, for today. It's great talking to you again, and I wish you all the best for your career. We'll definitely stay in touch. Okay.
sure.
And see you soon. Take care. Bye bye. Good night.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you.